Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rancho Mirage Library and Observatory. Hey, you turning it on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rancho Mirage Library and Observatory. My name is Bob Raycook. I'm the operations manager here. It's my pleasure today to introduce Chef Shannon Bush. I don't know if you've come to this series in the past, but she's great. Shannon has been a plant-based chef for over 30 years. She's worked as an executive chef, head baker, caterer, and culinary instructor. She loves to demonstrate the many benefits of plant-based eating and prove that healthy food can be delicious. So please welcome Shannon Bush.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're all here. I was just telling TJ, you just never know if anybody's going to show up, so thank you. I did silence my phone, so I almost forgot it. And thank you to the library. I forgot my pretty mixing bowl at home, and I was going to have to use this, so now we're in good shape. So, very excited to have you all. Hope to get you excited to eat more plants. That is my mission in life. I want people to eat in a healthier way that has many, many ripple effects. Everything from the environment to cruelty to your own personal health. So, yay, thank you for being here. Some of the familiar faces I see, I know you already eat this way. Some of you hopefully are curious and want to learn more. And maybe some of you just needed something to do in the air conditioning today, but I'm glad you're here regardless. So, as always, a little about me. I just take foods of a region and put my spin on it. So, if you're a stickler for, well, that's not the proper way to do it, well, you're probably not going to love my recipes. With that said, one of the very first things you might have noticed on the menu is that one of the things I'm making today did not originate in the Mediterranean. It actually originated in Argentina, the chimichurri sauce. But the ingredients in chimichurri are things that you find in the Mediterranean, so why not? Just, moving it a few spots over on the globe. So we're going to just make this nice fresh sauce. You use, their recipes vary. Mine uses fresh cilantro, fresh parsley, and today I'm using the Italian flat leaf parsley. Looks kind of similar to cilantro. Have any of you accidentally bought one or the other? Yeah, it happens. It's just, I like the flavor better with the Italian parsley, just personal preference. You can use the curly parsley if you want. But I'm just going to chop it up, and I do use most of the stems. The stems are full of the nutrients too, so why throw them in the trash? And I'm just going to go through this, chop away. Now I'll go over to different direction and just throw it in the bowl. Some people with their chimichurri sauce, they will puree it, like in the food processor or a blender. I prefer it kind of big and chunky like this, and it's a wonderful thing. Today I'm going to put it on top of some hummus that we're going to make, but it goes beautifully on so many different things, so I encourage you to give it a try and get creative. It's really good on roasted vegetables or maybe some baked tofu. It just really livens up anything savory you put it with. Oh yeah, they're really nice and fresh. These are from Whole Foods. Italian parsley. And I wish you could smell it. It smells wonderful. There you go. A big generous cup of the greens. I'm going to reserve a few of these to make my plate look pretty later. All right. And now I'm going to put some of this beautiful Fresno chili in there. I chose a Fresno because it's red. If I had purchased something that was green, it would be lost in there, but I really wanted it to stand out. Fresnos are fairly hot, but if you put a little bit, and if you don't put the seeds in, I think you'll find it's manageable, even if you don't love really hot things. Now, I am going to cut it into very small little pieces. And then hopefully remember not to touch my face after handling it. Okay, so a nice little pop of red in there, looks beautiful. And I want to get some garlic in there. Everybody always loves my garlic press because you leave it in the husk and it completely cleans out the husk. And I've never found another garlic press that worked as well, so kind of a nice thing. So now we're going to put some liquid in here. We're going to use some avocado oil and some red wine vinegar. What did I say on the recipe? About a tablespoon? Was that? Oh, okay. Tablespoon of red wine? Thank you. There you go. That should do it. So, quarter cup of olive oil. I know a lot of Mediterranean cooking uses olive oil. I used it for years and just quite honestly got tired of it. I really like the neutral flavor of avocado oil, and avocado oil is much better for cooking. It has a much higher burn point. It doesn't break down as quickly as other oils, so I highly recommend it. It is quite expensive, but worth it, I think. And the more popular it gets, I'm sure the price will come down. But I'm just going to coat all these greens with the oil and the vinegar. And then let's add some seasonings. Oh, what do we have? Thank you. I don't cook with recipes at home. I just go for it, and so I have to be a little different when I'm here. I'm trying to be better. Whoops! That's why you pour it into your hand first. Little sea salt. And then what am I missing? The dried onion? Okay. So that's an important ingredient because as this sauce sits and the flavors meld, it will produce some water. So it's just kind of a little trick to add these dried onions, and that way you won't end up with a soggy sauce. Because they will hydrate as the greens release their water. Isn't that pretty? Yes. Kind of looks like Christmas though. All right. I made it first because I do want those flavors to develop a little bit. And now while that sits, we're going to make our delicious beet hummus. And do with, I need some place to put my greens. Okay. Did any of you come last fall when we did Mediterranean cooking? We made carrot hummus. Does anybody use that recipe? Somebody say yes, please. That's okay. That carrot one is one of my favorites that I shared with you last year. But this one is probably a very close second. So I'm just going to make everything in the food processor. I'm going to pour in a can of drained and rinsed garbanzo beans and some cooked fresh beet. You can tell by the pieces in here how enormous the beet was that I purchased. I probably won't use all of it, but so many beautiful beets in the store right now, so I encourage you to give it a try. Different one. So even if you're not a fan of beets, maybe give it a try, because with everything else going on, the flavor, it's not all about beets. It just really enhances the whole thing. I think that's going to be enough. And I'm just going to put everything in there. Okay, so where are we? So some tahini. Tahini is nothing more than ground sesame seeds. It does, if you taste it by itself, it does have a little bit of a bitter aftertaste. But with hummus, it just works. Some people leave tahini out if you really don't care for it, but I think it really adds a lot to this recipe, so give it a try with the tahini in it. You can just leave it out. Yeah. Not really. Okay. All right, what else did I say to put in there? Thank you. I'm going to use my handy garlic press again. Oh, come on, making me look bad. There we go. Okay, these are both enormous, so I'm just going to stick with 2. And it's so big, it's not really going to fit in my press, so. Can you smell it? I heard somebody say it smells good. Okay. All right, we've got our garlic. We're going to need all of these guys and some salt. So you'll notice this is an oil-free hummus. Most hummus recipes rely heavily on added oil to make them smooth and creamy. But this is a an oil-free hummus. Why? A lot of people are trying to cut back on oil. It doesn't offer any nutrients. It's high in calories. You can certainly add some if you want, or a pretty drizzle on the top would be nice. So some fresh lemon and measuring spoons. I know they're here somewhere. Okay, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. We'll pretend that didn't happen. I was trying to be tidy, and then I ended up doing that. All right. If any of you are ever curious about any of the classes you may have missed, just want to make sure you know that the library's website has all of the old classes. You can just go to their website and just look them up. They're there in order that they occurred, and there's quite a few classes there now, so if you want to see that carrot hummus recipe. All right. So here's some cumin, generous half teaspoon. I'm also going to put some coriander. Whoops, reverse that. That was the coriander, here comes the cumin. Oh, come on. All right, do not use a knife at home to do this. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't want to be responsible for anybody's missing digits. And we're going to add some granulated onion. Same thing. Nobody look. There we go. Similar. It's just a little coarser, the granulated versus onion powder. Sumac is a red berry. It's a shrub, and the red berry is dried and ground to make a fabulous, flavorful seasoning. I didn't use it for many years. I grew up in the Midwest where sumac grows naturally, and there's poison sumac. So I think I had that drilled into my head as a child to stay away from the sumac, and so, but it's a beautiful dark red color and really adds a nice, these little spice boxes are from Whole Foods. It really is nice. Can use it in many things. No, it's not spicy. Just adds sort of a depth of flavor. It's very nice. Any kind of sauce, seasoning, a salad dressing. Yeah. And it's not a huge investment. It's tiny little boxes, $2 or $3. So if you don't love it, or, but at least try it. It's a neat ingredient. Okay. And then What am I missing? Some salt, right? Okay, we'll see how well this wants to blend with these big beet chunks in here. Oh, pretty well. What is? Those come at the end. I'm actually on the ball. I didn't just make that up. I can see why you doubt me. It does, and it makes it really fluffy. So without the added oil, it is a little bit drier, so it is a little bit of a pain to, you have to keep punching down the sides. And I'm also gonna make my beet pieces a little smaller to give it a hand, or we might be here all day. I don't have plans, but some of you may, so. Slowly getting there. Bear with me. Definitely. Definitely can. There we go. I have a little bit of liquid in here. I'm going to just add a smidge or we'll be here all day. You can use fresh onion instead of granulated onion, but onion can get bitter when you crush it, as you would in a blender or a food processor. So I recommend powder, granulated, or the dried onion. I'm going to add a smidge of this too. What are you doing here? Hi. Yeah. They're piping hot for a long time when you get done cooking them. So just give them a little time to cool so you don't burn yourself. That didn't sound very friendly, did it? What are you doing here? She's one of my dear friends, and I had no idea she was coming today, so. So if you don't buy cooked beets, you can just, what I do is I peel them, cut them into chunks, put them in a little bit of water, and I put them in like a giant Pyrex measuring cup, put some saran wrap over the top, and then I just microwave them. And the steam coming up, it cooks them really nicely. No, just the Pyrex in the microwave, yeah. You could do the same thing on the stove top, but if you have the patience for the slow roasting. I actually prefer that method, but I don't do that about May through November. I do everything I can to leave the oven turned off. Yeah, you'll get if you slow roast it in the oven, you'll get a richer, just a deeper flavor. Pardon me?
Sweeter too, part of the roasting of beef before you do that, like more complex but also sweeter.
Yes, definitely. Okay, believe it or not, I believe the processor's done its thing now. It just needed a little help. So now, losing my, sorry. Okay, all good. Gonna add a couple of ice cubes. And I have a big batch here, so I'm gonna actually add a third. There we go. So as soon as the ice cubes are mixed in, I'm going to just taste it and see if I'm happy with the seasoning, see if it needs more of anything. I suspect it's going to need a little salt because I used some water to thin it a bit. Not really. Not really. It's, I use carrots and go to the library website and I'm pretty sure it was just last fall. But yeah, look at this beautiful, vibrant red color. We're going to add a smidge of salt. Okay, there's that. And I thought we'd make a nice appetizer platter for the library staff today. Gonna give this another stir. And I keep popping my microphone off. I'm sorry. I think I'm okay. All right. Okay, let's make this look pretty. So if you're familiar with me, I'm always telling you to eat your colors. The different colors in food represent the different nutrients they contain. So if you have a colorful diet, you're going to give your body the nutrients that it needs. So it's definitely a vibrant. Uh-oh, I see a little beet chunk there. And let's put some veggies around it. I've got some cucumbers. The library staff here is phenomenal, and the opportunity to feed them when I'm here for these classes makes me very happy. Okay. And I have some fun crackers from Trader Joe's to put on here. I've got some little pita bite crackers. And some Mediterranean flatbread. This is also from Trader Joe's, and this is one of the few flatbreads out there that does not have buttermilk in it. So, Trader Joe's. They offer a frozen one as well as this fresh one, but the frozen one does have milk in it. So, stick with the fresh one. They're delicious. They come in garlic or regular. Flatbread, and then I've got some little garlic crackers. And then, here's what you've all been waiting for, I'm sure. Does look Christmassy. Wasn't my intent, but yeah, there we go. So all set with this one. Thank you. There we go. It doesn't freeze that well, but it'll keep a good 5 days or so.
Okay, so you can prep it a day before.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, it keeps pretty well. But hopefully you'll love it so much that it won't still be around 5 days after you make it. I do. For some things, I just use an iodized sea salt. Sometimes I just use a sea salt. There's different kinds I like the pink Himalayan. If I'm making anything that's sort of replicating an egg dish, like a quiche or something like that, I'll use black salt. Black salt has a very sulfurous smell and taste to it. So it's great when you're making something like that where you would normally put eggs if you weren't plant-based. But yeah, good question. Yes, sometimes. My pantry at home looks like a store. I've got, you name it, it's probably in there somewhere. Okay, so I don't have time today to make the spanakopita version. I have the recipe there for you. If any of you look it over and have any questions, let me know. But I did want to show you what it looks like. Okay?
Puff pastry?
Yes.
Vegan puff pastry?
Most places.
Most places?
It's actually, they're not labeled as vegan, but if you read the ingredients, they are. It's less expensive for companies to not use butter. So you'll find that they have like palm oil, or which aren't the healthy oils, but they're they're vegan for this purpose. So so I started off, I was going to make little traditional triangles with phyllo dough. I went to 2 stores and nobody had it in stock, and I was frustrated and said, forget that. And I got puff pastry instead. But this recipe will work with the traditional phyllo dough. You could even use pie crust. But the puff pastry is a nice, elegant twist on it. During the holidays, I even make an appetizer, a little bite-sized appetizer in a mini muffin tin, using this dough and a spinach filling or an artichoke filling. But it's a lot of fun things you can do with that dough. And it's pretty easy to find. I think even like the well-known brands like Pepperidge Farm are vegan, so just read labels. So if you want to go the easy route and make just one big one like that, the puff pastry dough comes in a rectangular shape, like so. And what you would do is lay the dough on a piece of parchment paper on your baking pan. Have a little dish of water sitting nearby. Dip your fingertips in the water and go around the border of the puff pastry with the water. The water will act like glue as you put your dish together. So filling goes in the middle. Bring the bottom up, press the sides down, and then pull the top piece down overlapping the bottom piece. And then you're going to very carefully flip it so that your seam is on the bottom. And then I usually fold the ends under and use a fork to crimp it down. And then the spinach creates a lot of moisture when it cooks, so you need to make some vents in here to let the steam escape. But about 35 minutes in the oven, that's what you get. I hope you try it. If we had more time, I could have made one for you in person, but you all probably have lives that you need to get back to and all of that, so. All right, so now we're going to make soup. Delicious soup. Well, I think it's delicious. I might be a little biased. But earlier, when I realized I had forgotten my mixing bowl, I dumped out my container of veggies and put them in the soup pot ahead of time. But this is what I'm starting with. It's a mixture of celery, carrots, and onions. If any of you are into cooking, also called mirepoix. It's sort of the basic little mixture that goes into everything. So I'm just going to start cooking these with some avocado oil. Oops. Normally I would heat up my pan first and then put the oil in and then the veggies, but gotta be flexible. All right. While those heat up, I'm gonna grab the orzo. Orzo is just a type of pasta. Looks very similar to little grains of rice. Very easy to find. And in fact, some lucky people are going to go home. I have 3 bags of orzo as door prizes today. But there's a catch. If you win a door prize, you've got to use it. And you'll get extra points with me if you send me a picture of what you make. I love, love, love getting pictures from all of you. Thank you. Awesome pictures last time. I love that. Makes me feel like, I don't know, just makes me very happy. So, I have Instagram, but email is great. I have my email address on the recipes there. But you can also find me on Instagram, Chef Shannon's Way. So, there's a step that is so important when you're using the orzo that most people skip. I'm going to cook the dry orzo in the oil with the veggies, and I'm going to cook it until it browns. And what that's going to do is add a huge depth of flavor to our soup. It's a really important step. So don't be rushed and skip it. Your taste buds will thank you later. I'm going to let my veggies cook about halfway, just till they barely start to get tender, before I add the orzo. This recipe, traditionally it's made with chicken. It's usually a lemon chicken orzo soup. But instead of chicken, I'm going to use chopped artichokes. And they are already cooked, so I'm not going to put them in now. They would just end up adding too much moisture and it would be harder to brown my orzo. So I'm going to wait on the artichokes. And with the artichokes, you can buy them packed in water if you want the healthier version, or you can buy the ones that are marinated in oil. They have some herbs and they're usually in olive oil. That'll add a nice richness to your soup, but your choice. Either one works. But do drain off the liquid, whichever type you use. Everybody always thinks soup is so hard or it takes so long. Soup can be easy and fast. No need to pop open one of those little cans and throw it in the microwave. And there's also a myth out there that you got to cook it for hours to get a nice rich flavor. I don't find that to be true. If you just know a couple of little tips like browning the orzo. Okay, almost there. So I'm going to need onion, pepper, You can make it, instead of water, you can use one of those boxes of broth if you'd like, or you can use the water and just season it with salt and pepper. But I really like these bouillon cubes. They're called not chicken. Also have one of these as a door prize today, so you can take it home and check it out. The bouillon is from Whole Foods. You can find it online, but you can also find it at some of the big chain stores in the valley here. But it has a really nice rich flavor to it. There is a lower sodium version. This is the full strength one that I'm going to use today. And the reason I am, a little cooking trick, if you've oversalted something, if you add some fresh lemon juice, it's going to dilute that and reduce the salty flavor. Because I'm adding lemon juice to this soup, it needs the salt, in my opinion, because if I were to use the low sodium cubes, I think it would taste really under-seasoned. So I'm using the regular bouillon cubes. Okay, those are just starting to get tender, so I'm going to add the dried orzo. It'll just take a couple of minutes to brown. But the reason you don't add the orzo right away is that the vegetables have a little bit of water to release, and the orzo will just get soggy and they won't brown as nicely. So that's why I par cook the veggies and then add the orzo. Is everybody here familiar with the blue zone concept? The library has the books if you're not, or if you want to read more. But the Mediterranean is one of the regions in the world, one of 5, where people live longer, healthier lives. And the one thing that all of these regions have in common is that their diets are based on plants. There are other important aspects to it, but my job is to focus on getting you to eat plants. But these are parts of the world where people stay active. And that doesn't mean going to the gym every day, it just means moving. Doing your gardening, doing your shopping, walking with a friend, enjoying nature. So there is a new documentary on Netflix, The Blue Zones. I haven't seen it yet. It's good? Okay. It's on my list when I find a minute. Okay, we're almost there. Wow, I can't believe it. I always got 10 minutes left to pull this soup together. Okay. At the very end, I'm going to add some thinly sliced green onions and some fresh spinach. They'll give the soup a little splash of color and some texture, but not until the very end because I don't really want them to cook and soften too much. Okay. Could be a bit more brown, but because I'm on the clock, I'm going to go ahead and add my water. So 6 cups of water. And I'm going to go ahead and add the remaining ingredients. Which includes some chopped artichokes, and I'll add my bouillon cubes and spices. Give it a little stir. And what did I say? About a teaspoon of onion, granulated onion. Thank you, garlic. And a little black pepper. So I just want the water to come to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it down to simmer. Sure. Well, there is. Yeah. The stuff in the jar is not as potent as the fresh. I have, as emergency backup in my freezer, I have those frozen cubes of garlic from Trader Joe's, or a lot of places sell them. I use those sometimes when I don't have fresh garlic, or if I'm feeling lazy and just want to pop a cube. But the jar stuff, it just doesn't have the flavor. Yes, it adds some flavor that sort of mimics a chickeny flavor. Since this is traditionally a chicken stock-based soup, I just add it for some flavor, so it'll taste similar to what you might be expecting. Absolutely. Yeah, any veggies you like.
So if you use a chicken broth instead of a water,
Hmm.
can you eliminate the traditional yeast?
You could.
Yeah.
The nutritional yeast is also really good for you. So if you have some, use it. It puts a lot more nutrients in the broth. I think I have a bag of that as a door prize today too. Boy, you guys are going to be all set with your prizes. There's several brands. It's easy to find if you're not familiar with it. This particular one is from Trader Joe's. Whole Foods has it. The brand Bob's Red Mill makes their version of it. Bragg's makes a version of it. So easy to find. Lots of uses for it. My family enjoys it on popcorn. A little garlic salt and nutritional yeast, and it kind of tastes like cheesy popcorn, sort of.
So when you're home, you're just cooking that on your stove top?
Yeah. We're getting there. They're still just a little bit firm. Sure.
That's pita bread that you make from scratch,
Uh, no. This one?
Oh, no.
That?
Bread is that pita bread too?
No, it's puff pastry dough.
Oh, this is puff pastry.
Yeah, it's puff pastry dough. You can also use the phyllo dough, tomato.
The pita bread, what is the difference in ingredients in the pita bread as, traditional white bread?
Well, our traditional bread is usually a yeast dough, and this usually doesn't have it. It might have a leavening agent like baking soda or baking powder, but it generally doesn't because you don't want it to get huge. You want it to stay kind of flat. Flour's the same. Flour, water, salt. Yeah. I actually thought about maybe making those as one of the recipes today, but I didn't. Didn't do it.
It's smelling really good.
Oh, thank you. Are we? Oh, geez. 3 o'clock. I swear, it's like double time when I'm in here. That clock goes so fast. All right, I've got everything ready except for my spinach. So again, the spinach and the onion going in at the end, I'm purposely not trying to cook them. I want them to retain their bright green, fresh color. If I put them in any earlier, the color would start to fade. So I'm just going to save these to the end. Not yet. I'm going to do it at the end. Yeah. So it's almost fully, like most of the ingredients are in there, so it's a good time to do a little taste test, see if I need to adjust any seasonings. It's really hot. Seasonings are spot on, so it just needs this. I'm sorry, guys, I just can't quite seem to keep myself to an hour. Yeah, they're still a little too hard. So while this continues to cook, oh, does anybody plant these, the tips of their green onions? Isn't that so nice? You buy one packet of green onions in the fall and you can have green onions all winter long. Just stick these in a little dirt, water them once in a while, and you'll be amazed at how quickly it grows a new green onion. Really fast. So I just use, at home, maybe a couple at a time, and I plant them, and then a few days later I have more, so that way I always have a crop of green onions going, so. I have a planter right outside my kitchen door that I don't have to bend over, it's just, right, yeah. I had some going from last winter that made it until July before they just said, it's too hot here, we're not doing this, so. So as soon as the weather cools, I think better weather's coming, but I'll start planting some again. I do it in the fall as soon as like the triple digit days are gone. Yeah. Yeah. So something we can do while this finishes up, who has a sticky note on the back of their recipe? Okay, come on up and see me if you have a sticky note on your recipes. Come see me. Oh, I love the artwork. So take your pick. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Let me know what you think. So yeah, take your pick. Perfect. I've got some fresh beets, artichokes. Yes. Enjoy them. No, I just threw them in because they're amazing. Trader Joe's. They're oat milk chocolate bars with crispy rice and cacao nibs. Oh. There should be 3 more people with sticky notes. 3 more people should have sticky notes on their recipes on the back page. Oh, good. Oh, no, I don't need them. There's still 3 people missing. You have one? Oh, yeah, I'm running late, so I know some people had to leave. Well, that's unfortunate. All right, my group right here. Name me one country that's a blue zone country. First person to shout one out. Come on up, Okinawa. Take your pick.
All right, not a sugar in it. I'm going to take this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see here. Question? Sardinia is one. I know you. I know you. Okay. You choose one and I'll give her the other one. Okay. Yes, Loma Linda, the only one on this continent. She got that one. Yes, it is. The only one in North America. Singapore. Okay, so let's test this orzo. Okay, the orzo's tender. I'm going to go ahead and drop spinach. Yeah, you can use anything. I've even broken up spaghetti before into little pieces. Ooh, that was a very juicy one. Maybe that's enough. Oh, you broke into the chocolate bars. Oh, yeah. Aren't they good? Trader Joe's, everybody. Oat milk chocolate bars. And they're in that little thing right at the register where you pay. So they're right in front of you saying, hello. They have a regular one and then that one, which I love, with the crispy rice in it. Yeah. Okay, our soup is done. It's colorful, fragrant, hopefully tastes delicious. I hope you're inspired to make some. Somebody got artichokes. So you're going to make soup, or what are you going to do with your artichokes? Excellent. Let me know how you like it. I love the emails. I hope to see you all next month. We'll be here in November, and I'll be here in December. Any questions? If I can ever help with anything, if you're looking for where to find a product, if you need a cooking technique, if you need help with substitutions in a recipe, email me. I'm happy to help. I just want people to eat more plants, so please, anytime. Thank you. I don't have anything booked right now.